Well, hello and thank you for joining us. And as you can see on your screen, this is the OLBG Super Sunday betting preview. We're going to assess the two games that you'll be able to watch on your television come Sunday. First up, probably the more key of the games for the clubs involved in some ways at this stage of the early part of the season. West Brom play host to a Chelsea team that are in much need of some points. Now, so West Brom, but to be fair, the spotlight will be all over Jose Mourinho and his band of misfiring men. One man that hasn't been misfiring, he's been tipping things left, right and centre, including last time we remember talking about a Chelsea game, he backed Swansea to score any time at evens, which looks mad on reflection. That's Gio Mackie. Hi, Gio.
Yeah, Swansea one went well, but I got the game last weekend wrong, so I thought they would have got a draw against City, so...
I suppose that's the first thing we need to talk about, really. It's disrespectful to talk about the away side first, but we're going to do it because Chelsea is just the biggest story here. Wow, Chelsea. Obviously, a bit of a pick-me-up this week with Pedro signing, but he's not going to be the solution to the problems that Chelsea conceding 3 goals away from home to Man City, is he?
No, it's not just that. They've this stat might surprise you. They've actually had the most shots against them on target in the league so far, including the likes of Sunderland. They've had 18 shots on target against them, which is the highest in the division. But they were just poor on Sunday. Going forward, there was nothing. There's Hazard and Costa, but there wasn't really anyone else looking to make anything happen. And at the back, Ivanovic was getting sold time and time again by Sterling. Terry got hooked. I don't know what's going on, but there's something funny happening at Stamford Bridge in the last couple of weeks, isn't there?
I suppose my argument would be Jose Mourinho, in my head, he's let it slip a bit. You can take out the issue with the medical staff. That's a different story for a different day. We're not here to dwell on that because it's not going to have any major impact on what we look at. But my concern is Chelsea didn't have a perfect pre-season. They had issues with the defence then. They did okay, I suppose, in the last couple of games of pre-season I watched them in. But John Terry had a great year last year, but he's another year older, and he can't keep having great years. He will peak at some point, and he may well have peaked as such. You've got Kurt Zouma sat there ready to go. If Mourinho felt he needed this next centre-back, why didn't he move for someone like John Stones quicker? Do you think it's a failing on his part to identify that there was a problem early enough?
A wee bit. I was very surprised. The LBG, we've done a title anti-post hangout, which they still see. We were kind of spoke on that about Chelsea's lack of transfer dealings, and I know they've got Pedro now, but it's still not really kicked into life. They've also signed that new defender, who could feature on Sunday at left back, and we could see Ivanovic dropped. I think there's something funny happening.
I think it'll be interesting to see it. It'll come out in the wash. I mean, I myself had a little cheeky fiver on Mourinho to be the next manager to go ahead of the City game, and he's now something around the 10-1 mark, I think. Just because if they lose this or they don't get more than a point, people are going to start questioning it, and especially it's so key because Man City then a couple of hours later could really inflict some pain and have some serious distance within August in the title race. And they obviously don't look like they're slowing down the transfer market, and we'll come to them a little bit later. The difficulty for Chelsea is West Brom, I know, disappointed a lot of people when we saw them play Man City in that first game this season. But they are a team that Chelsea notoriously struggle with, and I'll bring up the head-to-head stats a little bit later. The view on West Brom and Tony Pulis, they've done their business late, and Pulis hasn't sounded that happy. But at the same time, they still have a nucleus of a Premier League team that should survive.
Well, are they? On the relegation hangout, remember I said I think they'll go this season, and I'm sitting back happily watching them slowly dismantle. They are bottom in the Premier League for their average possession stats so far. Just 33% of possession they've had over an average the last 2 games. That's poor for a Premier League club. I know under Pulis you're never going to see possession football, but still, I mean, they played Watford, newly promoted side. This is where West Brom need to be picking up points against these teams, and I don't think they had a shot on goal until near the end of the game when Rondon did his solo run and there was no one supporting him. But I'm looking forward to seeing these head-to-head stats. Actually, I don't know what they are, but obviously I know the result from last season.
I shall bring them to you shortly, Gio. Just one thing to touch on while I'm loading those up. Said Bohilio has been targeted by Spurs this week. It's been rejected. West Brom are holding out for around 25 million. Someone on Twitter said to me, "That's ridiculous. He's not worth 25 million." He's a Spurs fan, and I said, "Well, he scored around X amount of goals last season. Harry Kane scored about 5 more. How much do you value Harry Kane at?" And he said, 40 million. And I thought, well, you've got to value someone like Sahid Mourinho as a similar amount. If Charlie Austin's worth 50 million, this is where Premier League valuations are interesting. Charlie Austin's a much older player, and QPR won't let him go for less than 15 million. So surely Mourinho's got to be worth at least 20 million as a young English talent that scores goals.
Definitely. My rule of thumb is, £1 million a goal, and last season he scored 20. So, yeah, of course you take into consideration the fact that he is quite young. He is English. But I think West Brom are in a position they could maybe cash in, actually. I think they're prepared for that. They've recruited okay in striker departments in the summer. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to see it happen, to be honest with you, Sam.
No, that's absolutely fine. So here are the stats that are going to really test anyone that wants to back Chelsea. So West Brom unbeaten in the 4 games at home since 2012 against Chelsea. Similar stat at the bottom ties in with that. Chelsea have won just 1 match at the last 5 at the Hawthorn, which was a long time ago. But this one, for a bet that I can't believe people won't go for, the average amount of goals in this fixture was around 2.89, so call it nearly 3. So for those that like the overs market, it's a must bet in this particular game. Do you think the odds aren't reflecting West Brom's record here? Now, we've mentioned you don't like head-to-head records. But we look back to the most recent game that was played, very similar squads, and West Brom won 3-0. Albeit there was an odd decision with Fabregas being sent off for pinning the ball at a player's head. And Chelsea had already won the league, must be said. And those games can be a bit funny, dead rubbers as we call them. Do you think West Brom are being possibly a little bit unfairly... Chelsea aren't in the form of their lives here. Should West Brom be such a big price at home?
Yeah, but Chelsea have never lost a back-to-back in the Premier League under Mourinho, bar once, and that was back in 2006 in May when the title was wrapped up. They'd already won the league. So I guess the bookies are just looking at how likely is Chelsea to lose 2 games in a row under Mourinho. Very unlikely. But I don't think I could be touching Chelsea at that short price.
No, and I think, listen, they're the champions, okay? And the rule of champions is they have to find something when the going is tough. And if you're going to have a bad spell, in some ways, the start of the season is the time to get it out of your system. But I look at the way Man City turned up at West Brom. They demolished them. They laid down a marker that day, and they said, "We're cruising to the title. This is our team this season, and we're going to go out and buy a new defender and possibly get one of the best midfielders in England, in Europe, Kevin De Bruyne may join Man City." Do you think plugging a gap with someone like Pedro is going to be enough to appease fans if they go lose this game?
I actually think he's what they need right now. That spark, that bit of creativity. I thought Willian was very poor against Man City. He played more central and right for some reason. When I see him, and he was giving the ball away needlessly. And I know he's a worker, and that's why Mourinho likes him. I don't get why Mourinho was playing Fabregas centre midfield alongside Matic, whereas last season, for the first 6 months, he was playing in front of Matic.
That's where he gets all his assists from.
Yeah, but he took him back. In the second half of the season, he took him back into centre midfield to try and, I suppose, just grind the league out. But this season, he started him there, and it frustrates me because Fabregas is fantastic. I've just seen that. He's a bit like Silva, who will come on to later. You can see that ball without moving his head, if you know what I mean. You can read the game beautifully. But he's just so restricted, and it's frustrating as a neutral to watch.
My prediction for this season will be Cesc Fabregas will end up the ultimate utility man at Chelsea. You'll see him away from home being put up front as a false number 9, much like he did sometimes for Barcelona, and Andre Schürrle used to debut for Chelsea. And I think he will be expected to fill in the middle of the park as well. I think he's going to become an awkward shape fitting in around this team, especially with the signing of Pedro. I don't know how Mourinho is going to use him. I'm going to be fascinated to see how he does. Um, I I can't get my head around Chelsea's team. There's no balance to it. They've got some brilliant midfielders. They just need to get everyone back on song. And a fixture like this, we shouldn't listen. We shouldn't be talking about Chelsea like this. They're the reigning champions. They shouldn't be going away to West Brom and us going, "Oh, I'm not sure we can put them in an accumulator this week." They're the sort of team that you'd be going, "Yep, in." That's how it should be. And it's going to be fascinating to see if Mourinho can get that fear factor back. Let's move on to the bets for the game then. Gio, I think you've given us one as well. I'm just going to bring them up on screen for us so we can have a little look. Now, I've put the one in the middle up on that stats bet, the over 2.5 goals, 8 to 11 short, but people like to stick with the accumulators. You might want to go for over 2.5 goals and a team to win or a draw, and you'll get some really good value. Because the one thing this fixture, Touchwood, tends to provide is goals. Gio's going to tell me that it provides something else, though, with your bet, Gio, with the cards bet. Just to everyone at home, if they're not sure what a cards bet actually is and what over 3.5 means, first of all, and explain your rationale for it.
Yeah, it's just as it says, you just need 4 cards or more to win this bet. I must emphasise this kind of market isn't on odds checker, so do your own research. There might be better value out there. But firstly, I had a look at spread betting, which is not something we've not tipped on here before. And the cards market is valued really high. There wasn't any value, so that's why I was surprised to see only 3.5, especially when you look at the fixture. Last season, there was, in this fixture last season, there was 5 yellows and a red. And at Stamford Bridge, there was only 1 yellow and 1 red. But again, the red card was there. 2 seasons ago at the Hawthorns, there was 7 yellows. And at Stamford Bridge that season, there was 10 yellows. And the man in the middle, Matt Clattenburg. Now, we all know he likes to be in the headlines, but Chelsea do not like Matt Clattenburg at all. And he's only ref 1 game this season. That was on opening day when he dished out 7 yellows for it as well. So out of the 4 fixtures so far with involving Chelsea and West Brom, this market would have won 3 times. The only time we wouldn't have won is when West Brom played Watford and drew 0-0. I'm hoping that Chelsea are going to be fired up for this game because they have to be after the last 2 results. And West Brom need to be as well. They both need points. So I'm hoping it's going to be a fiery game. And I'm just hoping the man in the middle, Matt Clattenburg, is just going to throw fuel on that for us.
Yeah, Gio, you'll be tuned in. I expect to the game, watching it, expecting a nice early tackle to be rewarded with a yellow card. Inconsistencies this season we'll touch on with referees. Obviously, we saw Coughlin should have been sent off at Crystal Palace last week. We've had issues around referees before. Bournemouth were very unlucky Monday against Liverpool with the goal that stood. You picked up on this in the anti-post preview. Referees are something you look at a lot assessing bets. Did you take a look at Clattenburg before picking this bet out, or was it stats and then Clattenburg?
A bit of both. I mean, I think I'm one of the only people who look at referees. I'm not seeing it on the forums a lot of people saying this ref's in charge, but I'm also hoping that Pulis targets Costa. Anyone watching that Chelsea game will know, Chelsea against Man City will know he was literally 1 tackle away from just exploding. He went after Fernandinho at half-time as well. And that's something Pulis is the type of manager that's going to pick up on that and say to Olsen or Jakob or Dawson, get in the back of Costa early doors and let's get him wound up because he will bite. I was tempted, you can get 2-1 for Costa to get booked at any time. That's a tempting place.
I'd wait till the team uses out because with Mr. Costa's hamstring, we never quite know how long he's going to last or if he's even going to start. And Jose, I would say this is the one fixture this week. The OLBG members are putting up Chelsea to win at 4-6. As much as I like Chelsea and expect them to bounce back, I'm uncomfortable backing at 4-6 because this can really go pear-shaped for him. He could do anything. You could suddenly see Matic and Zuma in central midfield with Fabregas playing up. It could go any way. And are we expecting changes in the Chelsea squad quickly?
Pardon?
You expect some changes in that Chelsea team?
Yeah, there's got to be. Like I said, I don't think we're going to see Ivanovic start. I think he's going to be the scapegoat, actually. Like we know, Mourinho loves a talking point to deflect from his team's performance even before the game. He tries to set it up. And I think Ivanovic is going to be the talking point this weekend.
Well, all of you out there with fancy football teams and put Ivanovic in, like me, because he gets loads of points, we're not going to be liking to hear that. But we'll be interested to see who lines up. The bets are on the screen there. I must say, it'd be competitive for me, this game. It's going to be an interesting one. West Brom certainly need the points, but Mourinho's the manager under more pressure out there too. Well, let's move on to the other game on Sunday that we're covering. It's the other televised fixture. Gio, your thoughts? Just touch on Everton and touch on City for us. Let's start with the home team. Let's do it properly this time. Everton. I've watched them twice this season. I was very disappointed on the opening day of the season. I thought they had holes in them like Swiss cheese, frankly, defending against Watford. And then, alternatively, they go and do what they did to Southampton. Jekyll and Hyde, is that going to be the Martinez way this season?
Well, it's always Everton's that team that you struggle to judge, aren't they? We didn't know how to judge them at the start of the season. Were they going to do good? Were they going to be in trouble? We didn't know. I seen the game last week as well, and they were fantastic on the counter-attack. Really good performance going forward. Southampton had a couple of half chances, so defensively they weren't solid, as the scoreline 3-0 suggests. But going Everton attacking on the break was just really, really good to see.
Yeah, I think that's a really fair assessment. Obviously, one thing that you can't take away from Everton, they've scored goals, which not every Premier League team has been doing this season. The Watford game, I think they were shocked by Watford's tactics and game plan and how quickly Watford came at them. So I forgive them that, and the Southampton results impressed me. But they're 4-1. I think the bet Victor best price at the moment to win the fixture outright. Would you want a little bit bigger before having a play on them to win the match?
I'm not sure, because I think Man City's results, although they won both games 3-0, West Brom were really poor that Monday. On Sunday against Chelsea, I still think Chelsea's goal should have stood. I still think it was onside. I think Ramirez is still celebrating, but that would have changed the game. That would have been 1-1, game on. Mourinho would have closed up, but he had to keep going for it. And the third goal was just because of the second one. The second one killed it completely, and the third goal was just like Chelsea had given up. But Saturday's performance with Everton is really going to play on my mind here, because I think the counter-attacking way they set up on Saturday will suit them. Although they're at home and you don't often see home teams counter-attack, I think it could suit them against Man City. And I actually think that's quite a nice place for Everton myself.
I just wonder if City, I wouldn't say have had it easy, but I go back to pre-season and I watched a lot of Man City for some odd reason. Just kept cropping up whenever I was covering the games at Man City pre-season. And they look to have a really soft underbelly. Now, obviously they've gone out and signed this Argentinian midfielder for big money. He may feature in the game. They've got Delph to come back. Do you think City, that's going to be the thing that teams can catch them at? Were you surprised Chelsea didn't go for it a bit more? I know Mourinho naturally defends when he's away from home against good teams. But you're not going to beat Man City, are you, by letting them attack you with the talent they've got in the final third of the pitch?
Well,
do you think they've not actually been tested this season yet defensively?
I think this will be the hardest test, because something that surprised me, I was shocked to read this, but Everton have 6 clean sheets in their last 10 Premier League games at home. And I was surprised at that stat. I didn't think they were as defensively sound. But do you know how many points Roberto Martinez has got as a manager against Man City in 12 games?
Go on.
2.
But he's beaten them in an FA Cup final.
Yeah, and he's been in the FA Cup final, but in 12 league games against Man City, he's got 2 points. That's quite scary for me. But then, to flip it round, Man City have only won 3 of their last 18 at Goodison Park. So I struggle to call this game. That's why, as you come on to it, I've stayed away from the outright market here.
And I think you're very fair to do that. We don't often tip on the outright markets. You'll find the OLBG members do as a collective, whereas Gio as an individual does tend to leave the markets alone. Yeah, so we got on the screen there Fabian Delph could make the squad. Is he going to get 10 games? Is he going to start for Man City this season, Delph?
Who does he dislodge? Obviously, you say immediately think, well, Fernandinho, but he's done nothing wrong the last 2 games, so he's not going to get dropped. I think he played quite well against Chelsea, actually. I was quite impressed by him. He scored the 3rd goal as well. It was a fantastic strike. Something that you don't really associate with a defensive midfielder, but No, he's going to find it. He's going to struggle to break into it.
And obviously, with the Euros coming up, he's going to want every ounce of football he can get. Nicolas Ormente, he's free to make his debut. I would maybe be surprised to see him put into this kind of fixture. But at the same time, you sign a player for the money they paid for him. He's defending against Ronaldo and Messi in La Liga. Is he going to be that intimidated by Aronde Koné and players like Ross Barkley? I think he'd get him in there straight away.
Definitely. I mean, La Liga, let's be honest, it's a poor league. The quality of attack in La Liga is fantastic. He's played against the world's best. I don't know enough about him to declare how good he is. But, Man City have spent almost 100 million on 4 centre-backs in the last few years. And none of them have really worked out. Obviously, the company's been a legend, but the rest of them have been so-so. And it's about time they got a centre-back transfer nailed on. So hopefully this guy can do the business for them.
It'll be very interesting to see where he plays. City are bidding to equal the best ever start for their season, which amazed me because they're only 2 games in. But we've got the stat on there that City have only won 3 of their last 18 Premier League visits, and that's a horrible record. Obviously, you've got to remember that the City team has played probably the furthest game in that series in the 18 trips was probably under Sven-Göran Eriksson, and had some very awful players in the team. Probably been spearheaded by someone like Sean Gota, I guess. Nothing against Sean Gota, but Man City are a different operation now. That head-to-head record's useless.
Yeah, but you could argue that Everton were poor back then as well. It wasn't that long ago that Duncan Ferguson scraping relegation battles. So, it works both ways, I suppose, doesn't it?
An interesting view to take, Gio. Who's going to score the first goal in this match?
This is my bet. I've gone with Ross Barkley. I think it's a massive price at 14-1. He impressed me a lot last Saturday. He obviously scored. He scored in both games now. And this has to be his breakthrough season. We've all been waiting for it to happen, and it's never quite happened. And like you just said, we've got the Euros. He needs to nail that spot for France. The last 2 games, Man City have opened the scoring, but before that, the last 5 head-to-heads, Everton have actually opened the scoring. Even though they've got beat some games, they've scored first. And Barkley scored first. Not last season, but the season before, he scored first in this fixture. But I'm basing this on how I evaluated last Saturday against Southampton on the counter-attack. He was right up there behind Lukaku every single time, looking for the ball. And big impression on me last Saturday, Ross Barkley.
You make the point about the Euros. He's going to have fierce competition for a spot in the middle of the park. And you've got to look at players like Jack Wilshere who'll be in the mix there as well. It's going to be interesting to see who picks it up. And England form is something we'll talk about, and other players throughout the season. So we'll look towards the Euros. Once we get past Christmas, we'll talk about it a bit more, I expect. Just to let you know, unsurprisingly, the OLBG members are so impressed with Man City. They think that 8-11 is the best price generally around the marketplace. It is a huge price for Man City away. Gio, if you've got to have Chelsea away or Man City away, which am I going to make you pick? Chelsea 4-6 or City 8-11? Which would you rather be backing away from?
Back in Man City.
And that's the difference, I think, between the consistency already in the 2 teams. Interesting to see. And arguably the man of the Premier League, possibly the best goal scorer this league has seen, Sergio Aguero. He's the OLBG members blog pick, and it's Rate Shade who's gone and put them up in their blog. You can head to the OLBG site and read any of the posts for free. Well worth a look. Anytime goal scorer, just shy of even money with Betfair, Gio. That's a pretty good bet, isn't it?
It's a fair price. He could have had about 5 last weekend. It just shows how the chances all go to him. He's the finisher, the poacher, whatever you like. He's always in the right position at the right time. His reading of the game is second to none. Like I said, he's up there with the best this league's ever seen, up there with Shearer and Henry. He's just sensational.
I think that's a very fair assessment. Well, we'd love to hear from you guys as well. Obviously, these videos are ahead of time, so you've got till match day. Put your comments along the bottom of the video. Just add them in. You can tweet us at OLBG, or just comment on the video below. Don't forget to subscribe. We've got loads more previews come your way throughout the season. And we love getting your feedback. Give us your comments. Tell us if you're wrong. Tell us if you're right. And don't forget, make sure you give us your views as well. We love to hear them. Thank you for your time today.
That's no problem. Got one more fun fact for you before you go. Do you know how many games it's been since Man City had a 0-0?
I would guess 20.
53.
53. Well, and on that bombshell, we will end. Thank you very much, Gio. And yeah, 53 games since 0-0. So if you're going to sit and watch the 4 o'clock game and it's 0-0, you can blame Gio. Thank you for your time.